Hello and welcome back to Helldivers 2 Loadout Roulette. Today's loadout is the SG-451 Cookout, LAS-7 Dagger, and G-13 Incendiary Impact. Our armor is the Drone Master, Engineering Kit, produces recoil and gives me extra grenades, with the Frontier Marshal helmet, the beige-ish lining around the visor. Doesn't 100% match, like at all, but it's beige enough. And then the Conductor of Brilliance, because it's brown and kind of goes together. It's not the greatest, but it's close enough for me. And we are going up against the Terminids, so I will see you in the mission. Alright, so we have, to start with what I can immediately call in here, we have the Hover Pack, the Expendable Anti-Tank, and then 110mm rocket pods and orbital Gatling barrage. Not bad. Honestly, this build off-rip is going to be solid. I don't see any issues. Between being able to just dunk on everyone with an incendiary shotgun, the dagger is going to be good for clearing trash if I somehow don't clear it with everything else. The incendiary impacts are really good. Push comes to shove, I can just hit someone with a launcher. It's a solid setup. I can't really see much issue outside of needing more launchers and just not having them. But if that's kind of my big issue, I guess one issue I do see is I don't have a turret. But I think that falls more under personal preference. I like having a turret just to use as an anchor. You know, I can drop the turret down and I can start pivoting around it to deal with enemies or anything like that. But that's always just kind of been how I like to play. I'm always a turret guy. Playing the squad engineer is just kind of second nature to me. Engaging terminal. I do enjoy the hover pack too. I just always love using this thing, at least against Terminids. Everybody else I kind of loathe using it, because I find I'm usually just getting screwed over, or you're hovering and every enemy is just like, the sitting duck. And then I just die horribly consistently. Those are the times where the normal jump pack is really good. But I do have some news, and I kind of want your guys' input here. Objective located. I'm looking to get into streaming. And I'm just going to be doing streaming through my PlayStation. But I'm wondering if you guys would want to see more of Helldivers, or if I should keep this as is, and just do something else, or swap it around and do the random runs as a stream, or do them as the individual episodes, and then do whatever. Because I was looking at doing like Elatro, I have Generation Zero on my hard drive. I was thinking about actually doing Gundam. There's fairly old at this point, the Gundam Battle Operation shooter. Because I used to play that back in the day, and then I stopped. And I recently got into playing the card game, because that just came out. And that really brought me back, being like, yeah, I love this setting. So I was thinking about getting back into the game, since there isn't really much else for Gundam. They had that Overwatch clone, and that died. Imagine my shock.
My life for Super Earth.
Yeah, I'm down for some input. Always looking to try to deliver something for you guys, and I figure streams would be a fun idea. I was thinking also maybe doing Chalice Dungeon runs in Bloodborne, because I haven't touched Bloodborne in years, and I miss it. The game was a pain. I wasn't happy because I could never be a caster, but at this point, after playing a ton of Elden Ring, I'm like, yeah, I could probably go back and still die horribly, but maybe die a little less horribly. My reflex, I was like, oh, I'll just call in a turret right here and thin their numbers. Nope.
Come out. Calling down a support weapon. Tagging map.
Yeah, I've been kicking around streaming for a while. I've been telling myself, yeah, I should get back into it, because I did it years and years and years ago. Very briefly. I was actually trying to do it through my Elgato, and Elgato makes some good products, but their setup for streaming makes me want to peel my own skin off. It is horrible. But surprisingly, going just through the PlayStation is actually not bad. Not the greatest. I'll probably do a couple test runs, because I can't remember if the audio is borked just on YouTube or if it's just how it was. Because I remember doing it, streaming briefly on Twitch, and it worked just fine. I wouldn't be happy streaming on Twitch, I'll be honest. It would kinda suck, because, like, I'm already here. You guys are already here. Why would I want to try to drag everybody over elsewhere? Not to mention, discoverability on Twitch is absolutely in the crater. Oh, I didn't even notice that.
I'm on it.
Just Nest just hanging out right there. Didn't even cross my mind. Yeah, something I want to do. Because I'd like to have a bit more interaction with everybody, and it's always fun having the community just right there. Yeah, that's my little announcement, doodly bob there.
Get some! Get some! Activating jump pack.
I was just thinking too, now that we just had that new war bond, when's our next war bond? This was an interesting thing some of you may care about, if you care about, like, kind of the backside of game design and the industry as a whole. There was an interview with, I believe it was the director for Ico and Shadow of the Colossus and all those games. I think The Last Guardian. And he had said that now the era of new mechanics is over. Which I thought was a very interesting take. And from what he said and how I interpreted it, is that at this point we need to focus on the development side on improving what we have instead of just trying to make a new mechanic for something, which I certainly agree with. I saw last week there was a leak for Call of Duty 2027, which I believe is Black Ops 4. Or no, not Black Ops 4, Modern Warfare 4. And the leak was that they're going to add hand-to-hand combat, like Kung Fu or something. Like it's some John Wick CQC battle. And all I could think of now, after that little interview, is that, yeah, we need to actually refine what we have, because, especially in the case of, like, Call of Duty, they're just kind of, to put it bluntly, throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks. And that is a problem, because they're not refining, they're just kind of making stuff and being like, God, I hope people like this stuff. Look at the perk system. How many times they've screwed this up and been like, oh, now there's a bonus if you put perks from this category together, and it's like, why do we need that? I get you're trying to get people to use the other perks, but we already had that in a system and it worked just fine, and now it's in Black Ops 7. You just had perks get kind of almost subdivided, and then whatever each thing was, you would get different point values. You know, having effectively fast hands was a relatively low cost thing, considering it didn't improve your survivability and just was swap speed. But getting something like, we'll just pull it out of our ass, I don't think it was in Ghosts, but like Danger Cloaks, increasing explosive radius. That would be something where, yeah, that's going to be a higher cost because that's a big bonus. You aren't just getting, you know, some minor thing. That is lethality, that is changing a grenade to clear a room. That should be worth more points, and that's such a... What the hell? How is he... Anybody else see the arcs flying off his thing? He must have like a drone active that's bugged out or something. No, I'm just hallucinating because he has the jetpack. Whatever. But, you know, these mechanics can be improved and they don't need these goofy new versions. I remember Modern Warfare 2 and 3 had that gear thing where if you use like a certain item for one of your perk slots and you used another one, it would combine or improve an effect. It was the most convoluted thing I've ever seen, and it didn't really improve anything. Everybody I saw for content creators and like pro scene is just like, yeah, use X, Y, and Z, don't touch anything else, it's not worth it. There really isn't room for, you know, experimenting or improving. And I think that's a big thing, is refining mechanics that already exist. There's a lot of cool stuff that could be refined in games, but everybody's so gung-ho on we gotta add a new thing, but the new thing isn't that good.
Calling in reinforcements.
Remember for Battlefield 2042 how they made the... oh, it's already open. The big deal about the wingsuit?
Reporting to the front.
Nobody cares about a wingsuit. Congratulations, EA, you caught up to Black Ops 4. I think the bigger thing would be, at least from like EA's perspective, improve Levolution, bring it back to Battlefield 4, and then try to bring back general terrain destruction like we had in Battlefield 3. You know, improve what you already have instead of making new crap that doesn't do anything.
Reloading.
That doesn't mean like new games can't make new mechanics, but existing franchises just have to improve things. You could look at Souls games, for instance. I think Night Rain's RNG to stuff, I think is a good start. Kind of Diablo-fy the game. Now, does everybody want that? I don't know. I don't think so. I think it's very dependent on RNG and other things like that. But it has potential to be a really cool thing. Does it mean I think they need to start adding, like, insane new mechanics? No. I think the systems that have existed throughout the Souls franchise are good and should be just built upon and refined.
Marking location. Northwest. Marking location. Bugs. West. Northwest.
There are games that I do think need new mechanical changes, but yeah, by and large,
Found something.
games just keep adding stuff and then dumping it. And that is, the more I think about it, it's like, yeah, that is an issue, not really sticking through with anything. Going back to COD, I just remembered Advanced Warfare, where you could actually mod your streaks.
Extraction is available.
And it was like, oh yeah, you want a UAV? Well, that's 300 points, but you can turn into like an orbital VSAT and have it safe in orbit for, I think it was like 200 or 300 points. And then if you tack like another 50 or 100 on it, you could add, I think it would do like the VSAT directional markings.
Requesting air support.
You know, you could bring that back. I'd love to see that. I think COD's what the franchise, not studio, the franchise that is probably the worst at that issue of just like, you have a ton of good ideas, but you keep abandoning them and replacing them with things that are even worse.
Orbital inbound.
Like another one that comes to mind is Vanguard had, like, people absolutely dunk on Vanguard, rightfully so. The game was not that good. It was horribly rushed, sadly. But what the game did have was the ability to, like, blast open walls. You'd have a... If you didn't play it, there was almost like a plywood door-sized spot that you could just, like, sprint through or shoot through. It felt like them trying to tap into the Rainbow Six Siege style of breach anywhere kind of thing, but they didn't want to really go that far. Or Ghosts had Levolution, even though it was either related to field orders, or it was like, you can, there was like the prison map, it's like, you can knock down this tree to cross this little part faster. All you'd have to do is bring that back from both games, but all I would do is make it so instead there's a bunch of destruction points. You know, you can take down pillars on a ceiling, or in a building to take down the ceiling, but they require C4 levels of destruction.
Preparing for touchdown.
So as a player, you're like, okay, do I care enough to try to do this, or do I just say, nah, we leave it, and that has a completely different effect on the game?
Stand by for takeoff.
Hey, we got the larva.
Reinforcement budget depleted. Extraction complete.
But that is all for now. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to hit the like button, it helps out the channel a lot. If you haven't already, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.